All right, yalla, let's go. So this is going to be the last tester material for a while, or possibly at all, before the whole course is released. As I mentioned previously, I'm uploading this material for new native speakers to get involved. So, of course, more learners find this material being online in tester mode, and that means like it reaches more Japanese native speakers. I've had quite a few get in touch with me since I've been uploading the first videos, which means I've managed to do loads of checks for these tracks that we're going to record. I've done about like 20 hours of putting native speakers in situations and asking them what they would say and all of that over the last week. So I need more volunteers to do that kind of stuff. If you're a native Japanese speaker, have good English and are interested in language, and also native speakers to check through these videos and try and prove me wrong in any moment they can, in any nuance that they can. That's the challenge. Not much attention has been paid to my pronunciation at this stage. I should repeat, I've been very focused on the grammar and the structure and the explanation. So as always, model your pronunciation on native speakers rather than mine. And without further ado, let's begin.
Let's do it.
So we've seen how particles are a major feature of Japanese, no? And also how we have different types of particle. Some particles are expendable and others are essential. Some particles are structural or grammatical in nature, and others are conversational in nature. The most conversational particle that we've met so far is yo, which we've described as a spoken exclamation mark, with all the nuances that might entail in different contexts, no? We've seen how it may be compared to how in English we can undo contractions of words for emphasis. It is cold rather than just it's cold. Or how we can use do, I do eat, rather than just I eat. All of that can translate to yo. But when it comes to conversational particles like yo, we are always trying to tune into the sense and feel of them, and possible translations are only part of that understanding and can't be relied upon too heavily. Mostly, we just want to observe Japanese in context and notice when we hear a particle like yo, and then think about what it is doing in that specific context. Another very common conversational particle in Japanese is ne. Ne has many uses, but at its core, we could say it appeals or alludes to some kind of shared mutual understanding or experience. Or in other words, it's what we might call the shared shoes particle. Now, in the proverbial sense of when we're putting ourselves in someone else's shoes, ne puts us in the same shoes. So if, for example, we say a simple it's cold, how do we do that? It's cold, formally or informally?
Samui desu.
Samui desu, formally or just samui. And it is cold, like maybe we're contradicting someone who thinks it isn't, or maybe we're making an announcement we feel is important.
Samui yo.
Samui.
Samui desu yo.
Good. Samui desu yo, samui yo, very good. But if we're commenting on the cold we're both experiencing, like maybe we go outside together and you say, oh, it's colder, we might not realize it, but that in English, in that context, is alluding to the shared experience of us both feeling the cold. So this is a perfect moment for ne. Ne puts us in the same shoes. It makes reference to the shared experience. So in that context, it's cold, huh?
Samui desu ne.
Samui desu ne. Samui ne. So this could be the translation of it's cold, huh? It's cold, no? Or even, isn't it cold? There's all different ways we might refer to the shared experience in English. But if that's the intention, that intention in Japanese is expressed with ne, however we might express it in English. Isn't it cold? It's cold, huh? Samui ne? Samui desu ne? The word for tasty or delicious, do you remember it?
Oishii.
Oishii, good, with a long vowel at the end, oishii. So if you want to make an emphatic statement, like, this ramen really is delicious. How do you do that? This ramen really is delicious.
Do you want me to just say oishii yo or kono ramen wa oishii yo?
Good question. Either, right? Depending on the context. No?
Kono ramen wa oishii yo.
Good. Or desu yo, if we're being a bit more formal. No? Good. So here, yo puts focus on your statement, like an exclamation mark might, emphasizing your opinion about the ramen. You're more likely to say something like this if you're eating and the other person isn't, no, but not necessarily. Maybe you're both eating the ramen, but you consider yourself the ramen expert and you're certifying in that moment that this is good ramen. In that case, you could still use yo. But generally, if we're both eating at the same time, you're likely to be referencing the shared experience of enjoying this wonderful ramen. So how would that be, referring to this joint experience of enjoying the ramen?
このラーメンは美味しいですね。
Very good. このラーメンは美味しいですね。このラーメン美味しいね。We could also add yo for assertiveness too. We could have yo and ne together. Yo for emphasis, ne for the joint experience. So how would that sound?
So このラーメンは美味しいねよ。
So yo first.
Oh, このラーメンは美味しいよね。
Good. このラーメン美味しいよね。
美味しいよね。
このラーメンは美味しいですよね. So imagine we have a friend that usually finds something to complain about, for example. Maybe we try to carry him along with our positivity, no, to see the bright side of the ramen. Then there would be a situation where we might use both particles, no? But generally speaking, when it's something we're sharing at the same time, ne, generally. So ne is all about this proverbial shoe sharing in essence, being on the same page, which may have any number of applications and translations into English. And those very same translations in another context might go better with yo than ne, or even yo ne. It all depends on context. So it's not necessarily the structure of the English sentence that helps us choose the appropriate particle in Japanese, but understanding the function of the particles. Many sentences on paper could go with either yo, ne, or yo ne, no? And we need to know the wider context and intention to know what might be most appropriate. What was the verb to sleep? Do you remember the verb to sleep?
Yeah, I do. I struggled with it, didn't I? It was neru.
Neru, good. Now imagine we go on a trip together and we find one double bed when we were expecting two single ones. But there is a sofa, so maybe one of us says, I'll sleep on the sofa. Sofa is sofa with a long A.
Sofa.
So I'll sleep on the sofa.
Sofa or nemu?
The sofa would be where the verb happens.
Sofa de nemu.
Neru.
Neru. I'm not going to drink the sofa.
Well, I almost said that, but that'd be normal. But
Oh my god.
well, especially when you put it with or, I was like...
Is there a verb nemu? Do you know? I keep saying it.
It might be, there might be.
Yeah. It's not. What's the verb one more time?
Neru.
Neru is sleep. Neru.
Ah, I know why you're saying nemu. What's the formal version of neru?
Nemas.
Nemas, because it's a taberu verb.
Okay.
So like taberu tabemas, neru nemas. But that mas,
nemas.
the M there belongs to mas rather than the root.
Yeah.
So now we know that consciously, you shouldn't have that confusion.
Yeah.
So, I'll take the sofa, sofa de neru. Good. So we could just say that, but we might also want to make reference in some way to this shared experience or understanding regarding the whole situation, no? So we could use ne. So the context could be anything. It needs to be strong enough so that it's obvious or easily deduced that it's what's being referred to. So for example, if we were just talking about how late it is, this ne could mean we're not going to complain at this time of night, I'll just take the sofa, no? Or it might be making reference to some salient feature of the situation which we're both aware of, like because you just broke your leg, you know, I'll sleep on the sofa. Or because you're so tall and I'm so small, I'll sleep on the sofa. No, whatever the supposedly shared idea or experience is, we can use this conversational particle ne to make reference to it. So in that context, I'll sleep on the sofa.
Sofa de neru ne.
Good. Sofa de neru ne. And as we've seen, conversational particles are expressive in nature. And so whilst the culture might dictate what is most appropriate to express or not in any given situation, it is always a personal choice, and not everybody expresses the same thing. That's the definition of personality, no? So in the same bed-sofa situation, you might choose to express assertiveness instead of mutual comprehension about the situation when you say, I'll sleep on the sofa. Like maybe showing your willingness to volunteer for the sofa, no? Or even to feign preferring the sofa. No, you could get those nuances being more emphatic about your announcement. So how would that be?
ソファーで寝るよ
Good. Sofa de neruyo. Good. How might we say it's cold in America in Japanese? It's cold in America.
アメリカで寒いです
Good, but there would be a translation of in, no? But really what there does is show us where the verb's happening. And here we don't really have a verb happening.
Right.
So what is America in this context really when we say it's cold in America?
So it's an object. Is that right? So it's America or? Oh no, America wa samui desu.
It's the subject, isn't
Yeah,
it?
of course.
It's cold in America really is just America is cold.
Okay.
No, America wa samui desu.
Yeah.
Good, good. So we can say in English there, no? It's cold in America, but there is an in, there is where the verb happens, no?
Okay.
So in a sentence like this, we have a wa. So now imagine we go to America together, we step out of the plane to a Chicago winter and are hit by a wall of cold.
Did I take the sofa in the end? What was the ending to the...
I don't know, we're in America now.
Okay, all right.
So we step off the plane, we're hit by a wall of cold, and one of us says, "Isn't it cold in America?" How would we say it?
アメリカは寒いですね
Very good. That would be the most likely, the most common thing, no? America wa samui desu ne. In that kind of situation, the most common thing would be, like referring to this joint experience, no? Highlighting that shared experience. If we arrive together and I say, "Isn't it cold in America?" Isn't it is doing that in English, highlighting our shared experience. But of course, in another situation, isn't it might have nothing to do with a shared experience. We might just be being emphatic. Isn't it cold in America? No, that might just be emphatic. So how would that be?
寒いですよ
Good. アメリカは寒いですよ。
アメリカは
Good.
寒いですよ
Good. There's also a third thing we might be doing with such phrases as "isn't it," right? And that's looking for genuine confirmation, like, "Isn't it cold in America?" No?
Right.
Which is closer to a genuine question. Yone works for that together, using yo and ne together for this genuine confirmation. It works for that because in this case, yo makes the statement that we're mostly sure of. No, America wa samui desu yo. And then ne asks, are we on the same page about that?
Right.
Regarding the statement.
Yeah.
So yone together, like a genuine confirmation kind of question. So, isn't it cold in America? It's cold in America, right? It's cold in America, no?
アメリカは寒いですよね
Good. アメリカは寒いでしょうね。アメリカは寒いよね。アメリカ寒いよね。
ここは寒いねよね
Also.
Just showing off now.
So when with isn't it or right or something like that, we're seeking genuine confirmation, we use yone.
Yeah.
Yo affirms and ne confirms. And that confirming goes back to the core function of ne, the shoe sharing, no? But now the shoe sharing is in regards to the statement itself, rather than some shared experience or unspoken context or something like that. So using yone is much closer to a genuine question than using ne, but it's still not the same as an outright question, no? With yone, we're just looking for clarification of what we already believe we know. So give me the genuine question, formally speaking. Is it cold in America?
アメリカは寒いですか
Very good. アメリカは寒いですか? Good. And we've seen we can even drop this ka with formal sentences if we want to be slightly less formal, maybe a bit more welcoming, or even to add another nuance like being a bit patronizing or, depending on the tone and the context. So, アメリカは寒いですか? Without the ka, how is it going to sound?
アメリカは寒いです
Very good. 寒いです Very good. So we can use a questioning tone instead of ka, even with formal sentences, but that does mean the silent u on the end of mas or des will be pronounced. No? アメリカは寒いです To go in Japanese is iku, iku.
行く
I'm gonna go.
行く
Iku, yes. Still iku, no? Because gonna is just the future and that's all contextual in
Right.
Japanese. So
Yeah.
I go iku, I'm gonna go iku. We could announce that with some assertiveness, like I will go, or maybe to imply I'm going, hurry up, or even enough already, I'll go, all depending on tone and context.
Ikuyo.
Ikuyo, very good. Or we might try to announce that we're going in a way that makes reference to or acknowledges how that matters to the other person. Again, we're shoe sharing, extending our sense of self, making the going relevant to us both. This might imply anything from, do you need anything before I go? I'm going, any objections? Or I'm going okay, honey? No? All depends on the context.
Ikune.
Ikune, good. What is the formal form of iku? The first question you have to ask yourself is if it's a nomu or taberu miru verb.
So it's more like a nomu verb. So ikimasu.
Ikimasu. They will go, right?
Ikimasu ka.
So ikimasu ka would be an outright question, like, will they go? But then for this nuance of they will go, right? We make a statement of what we're mostly sure of, which is kind of exclamatory, and then we seek the confirmation with it. So how do you do that?
So I could say, ikimasu yo ne.
Very good. Ikimasu yo ne? No. So we could use yo ne to ask absolutely anything from the world is round, right? To in Japan they use yen, no? No, if there's something like you want to confirm, yo ne. So of course, this use of yone is kind of like a question, but it's not an outright question, no? Like, will you go? Will they go?
So the actual question version would be ikimasu ka.
Ikimasu ka, good. And without ka, but still formal?
Ikimasu.
Ikimasu, very good. So we need an awareness of the type of question we're asking. No? Is it a genuine ka question? Is it a confirming yone question? Or is it not a question at all, even though it's phrased like a question? Like when we say, isn't it cold? But we're actually referring to the shared experience of the cold. Translations of what these particles do help us, but they are no substitute for the nuance of real life context. As we've seen, the translations in themselves overlap, and something like isn't it could translate as ne, yo, or yone, depending on the context. If we are too focused on the translations, we'll often make simplistic decisions based on the form of what we would say in English rather than awareness of the feeling we want to communicate in Japanese. Cool, number 17. Apartment in Japanese was apato and department store is departo. What was the verb for to buy? Do you remember?
Kaimasu.
Kaimasu or cow in the plain informal form. So, will you buy it at the department store? Informally, so using cow. Will you buy it at the department store?
Departo de kao.
Departo de cow, good. You'll buy it at the department store, right? Still informally. You'd buy it at the department store, right?
Departo de kao ne.
So you're translating the right without thinking about what it's doing here. So if you're saying something like, you'll buy it at the department store, right? What are you looking for with that right? What are you looking to do or to communicate?
To confirm. Yeah.
And how do you do that in Japanese?
So I would say, departo de kao yo ne.
Yone.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. For confirmation questions, yone. Departo de kao yone. Good. Will you buy the jeans at the department store? Just a normal, informal question. Jeans?
Am I guessing what jeans is?
Yeah. Well, how might we say jeans in Japanese?
I would guess it's jeansu.
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 Good, that's it, jeansu. So a normal, informal question. Will you buy the jeans at the department store?
Departo de jeansu o kao.
Very good. Departo de jeansu o kao, or just jeansu kao. Good. How about, she'll buy the jeans, huh? She'll buy the jeans, huh? And the reason we're saying huh here is because we can both see how much our friend is falling in love with the jeans. So the three of us in the department store, you see our friend, they're all starry-eyed, touching and we know him or her well, no? And for that reason, we have this knowing moment, and we say, she'll buy the jeans, huh? He'll buy the jeans, huh?
Jeansu o kao ne.
Jeansu o kao ne.
Okay.
Jeans kaune.
Jeans are calm there.
Jeans kaune. Jeans kaune. So that's just like, you know, we know her. In that context,
Okay.
no? The emphasis being on the shared experience and understanding of what we're seeing, no? We would use ne.
Okay.
So with the base of imported words into Japanese that we've seen, apato, depato, jinsu, restaurant, we can develop a good intuition for both what types of English words we can expect to be able to convert over into Japanese, as well as how to make them sound Japanese. Of course, something like jeans, we wouldn't expect Japanese to have a traditional word for, no. So it's a type of word we can suspect that we can convert over into Japanese. And of course we can. Jeans, jinsu.
Yeah.
We know these words tend to end in U, no? Hoteru, biru, jinsu. How might blouse be then? And remember, Japanese is mostly written in consonant vowel syllables. So blouse in Japanese, how might that be?
Brausu.
Burausu. Good. So if hotel is hoteru and office is offisu and restaurant is restaurant, then we might expect something like nightclub to also be described with an imported word in Japanese. So give it a try, nightclub.
Naito kurabu.
Good, naito kurabu. And you had an intuition to say to instead of tu, naitu, naito kurabu, which is correct because there is no tu sound in Japanese. There's only tsu in Japanese, which is why we have naito rather than naitu. Tu doesn't exist in Japanese, so Japanese opts for to when an English word or syllable ends with a T. We've actually seen this already, no? Apato, depato. What was to meet, formally, the formal mass verb for to meet?
Aimasu.
Aimasu. How would you say, she's meeting with him at the nightclub, right? She's meeting with him at the nightclub, isn't she? What do you think we're doing here?
So we're confirming.
Good. Here, without any added context,
It's not a
we can assume it's a confirming question.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so let's do that. She's meeting with him at the nightclub, right? Isn't she?
Naito kurabu de aimasu ne.
So what do we always use for confirmation question?
Ne.
A confirmation question. Now, I want you to confirm something, which is not the same as when we go out together and I go like, oh, isn't it cold? I'm not asking for your confirmation, am I? So that's ne. When we go out and we say samui ne.
Yeah, because it's a shared experience.
I don't care about your confirmation, do I?
No,
but put yourself in the situation. That's important.
Yeah.
Put yourself in the situation. Imagine the feelings involved there, because that's what these are translations of.
Right.
Feelings rather than
Yeah.
words. They're not translational words. So we go outside and you go like, oh, isn't it cold?
So it doesn't even elicit a response, that ne. Because it's like,
Right.
you're saying it's cold, isn't it? It's like,
You might
yeah.
want a response because it's part of sharing experience that the other person says, oh, I know, you know?
doing it.
But
You don't have to
you're
go,
not
"I-"
confirming anything.
Yeah.
You're not like asking,
Okay.
right?
So yon ne it elicits more of
If you have a fever when you go outside
Yeah.
and you're not sure if it's cold,
That's a very specific
yeah, it's a really good example
Yeah,
though.
okay,
I'm glad
yeah.
this came up. If you have a fever when you go outside, even though you're out there together,
Yeah.
there you might say you're near because you're actually like, is it cold or is it me?
Okay.
Right? All right. So she's meeting with him at the nightclub, right? Isn't she? Confirmation question.
Naito kurabu de aimasu yo ne.
Very good. Naito kurabu de aimasu yo ne. Or if we were to include more information or all the information, we could say kanojo wa kare to naito kurabu de aimasu yo ne. Good. So when we are asking for confirmation, yone is appropriate. But again, context is king. If we see our flatmate desperately doing her makeup and that's why we say, she's meeting with him, isn't she? No?
Right.
Then this isn't she there. We're referring to that familiar scenario of maybe seeing her panic to meet this ex-boyfriend we feel like she shouldn't be meeting or whatever the context is. We're both witnessing that, and that's shoes sharing. No? We can make reference to that with isn't she? Or with a particle in Japanese. So here, this isn't a confirmation question. No, even though it's phrased that way, we're making reference to this thing that we both see and understand and our kind of inside knowledge around it, right?
Yeah.
So we could say suspiciously or knowingly, she's meeting with him, isn't she?
Kare to aimasu ne.
Good. And if it was with our flatmates, we'd probably be informal. So do you remember the informal of aimas?
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, ow.
Ow, au.
Ow.
Good.
Yeah, so kare to aone.
Good. Kare to aune.
Kare to aone.
Kare to aune. So imagine the situation. Put yourself in the situation, you know.
Kare to aone.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't want us to know. She's hiding it, but we can see by the body language on kare to aune.
Kare to aone.
Right? That's not asking for a confirmation. That's not the same as, isn't she meeting with him? Where you're just looking for a confirmation, which would be?
Kare to aone.
Very good. Kare to aune.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
How might you say a date in the sense of going for a date, which is again a kind of Western concept. Back in the day, it wasn't acceptable for unmarried folk to date openly. And so that style of doing things is described with the Western word date.
Deito.
Deto, good. You mimic the long vowel there in date. Deto, good. And ending o again because we have a T on the end. What will you eat on your date? When we say on here, what do we mean with on?
What do we mean by on the date? We don't mean on it, we mean at it, or it's the place where it's happening. So I'm guessing there.
Very good. The place that it's happening, even though date isn't really a place.
Yeah.
There still works.
Yeah.
All right. So, what will you eat on your date? Any level of formality that you choose.
Okay. Day to day, nani o tabemasu ka?
Very good. デートで何を食べますか? Or デートで何を食べます? Or デートで何を食べる? Or even more casual, デートで何食べる without the o.
Right.
Good. By the way, these kind of choices, like using 食べますか or 食べます, or indeed how and when we use conversational particles like よね, such decisions also relate to idiolect, no, personal dialect, or rather personal speaking style. One Japanese speaker might make many of their formal questions with masu instead of masuka, whilst another might not barely do that at all. Building our own speaking style, we'll naturally and subconsciously use people we like and admire more as models. So we have deto, date. Milkshakes, we learn, are also a Western import for the Japanese. So how might you say milkshake in Japanese?
I'm loving all these loan words.
Do you know what, I'm just remembering now that I dreamt about this.
Did you?
I literally dreamt last night about explaining something that I'm not explaining in the class, which is
Really?
the two different ways you
Check it
can
out.
convert milkshake into two different types of dessert into Japanese. And Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I'm overworked.
You are? Okay. You need a milkshake. Or milkshake.
Very good. Miruku sheku, very good. So milk, miruku, because we're separating the L and the K. Now we like to do consonant vowel syllables. And then shake is sheku, good. A long vowel, sheku, mimicking the A of shake. Miruku sheku. Will you drink a milkshake on your date? Informally. Will you drink a milkshake on your date?
Day to day, milkshake nomu.
Good. Deto de miruku sheku nomu. And we really need to make it sound like a question, no? Because we don't have
Sure.
ka. Deto de miruku sheku nomu. Probably also the way like a Japanese would make that sound like a Japanese person would make that sound like a question isn't the way I just did it, which is probably very Mediterranean. So again, something to focus on Japanese speakers, not on me, but the idea that you need to make the intonation there is the important bit. So there really are a great wealth of English-Japanese words relating to anything from objects to lifestyle. The more used we get to both the patterns of sound changes and the different types of words that tend to convert over, the better we'll get at spotting imported words from English and adding them to our vocabulary on the go, as well as getting better able to guess the things we can probably already say in Japanese by guessing the imported word. Gifts have always existed in Japanese culture, like in all cultures, but the way people do gifting is very culturally specific, of course. As gifting became a more regular, light-hearted and commercialized thing in Japan through Western influence, the Japanese adopted words like gift and present into Japanese. So how might you say gift?
Gift. Gift.
So we have no TU.
Of course, yeah.
So what would happen?
Gifto.
Gifto. Good.
Gifto.
So this is actually written gifuto because
Gifuto.
we write consonant vowels, but the U gets swallowed. So you were correct in gifto. No?
Gifto.
So we write gifuto, but here the U gets swallowed up, making the word sound more English. Gifto. And present, how might that be in Japanese? Present.
Presento.
presento. So again, we write it presento, but the U there gets swallowed up to make it sound closer to English. Presento. And also, we have a Z sound here in English, present, even though we write an S. And Japanese reproduces what sounds rather than what's written. No? So this is zen with a Z. Presento. Ageru means to give. Ageru. Ageru, to give.
Ageru.
He'll give me a present. Let's imagine that me is the known, obvious or assumed information. So he'll give me a present, he'll give a present.
Presentu o ageru.
Good. Kare wa presento ageru, or just presento ageru, or presento o ageru. Good. If we want to say who we'll give a present to, we have a new particle to learn, ni. Ni doesn't mean to, necessarily, although it will often translate as so, but is rather the particle we use to show when we realise a verb towards someone or somewhere. This is a situation for ni. So if we say, I'll give her a present, the giving is being physically realised towards her, so we use ni. So what was the word for she or her?
Kanojo.
Good. So, I'll give her a present.
Would it be kanojo ni presento o ageru?
Good. Kanojo ni presento ageru. So in the informal sentences, it's going to be much less likely to include the object marker
Sure.
o.
Yeah,
no?
okay.
So what's the mass form of ageru? What do we have to determine first?
Whether it's a taberu or nomu type verb. So it sounds to me more like taberu, ageru, and tabemasu, agemasu.
So it ends ERU, like taberu, so it's a taberu miru verb. No? We remove the ru and we put mas. You'll give her something, won't you? Right? You'll give her something, right? What are we doing here with this won't you, right?
Oh, so we're confirming something.
And what's that? How do we do that?
No, because we're confirming. I'm gonna make you mad today.
No, you're not.
I'm gonna make you mad.
No, you're not.
today.
No, you're not.
Yonne.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're actually eliciting a confirmation.
You'll give her something, won't you?
You'll give her something, won't you? So it's to her. So kanojo ni nanika agemasu yo ne.
Very good. Kanojo ni nanika agemasu yo ne. To go was iku, which is another verb that is performed towards somewhere. No, we go towards somewhere. So you might say, we're going to the pool, like a swimming pool, no? How might you say that?
Puru ni iku.
Very good. Puru niku.
Puru ni iku.
Very good. Suwaru means to sit down. Suwaru.
Suwaru.
Again, it's something we do towards somewhere. Quite a literal one, that one, no? When we sit down, we sit towards a place. A bench in a park or a train station is kind of a Western idea too, apparently. Bench is benchi in Japanese. Benchi. So,
Benchi.
I'll sit on the bench.
Benchu ni as
You know, I was thinking, should I mention that bench doesn't end in "o" there? And I decided not to.
I like it. It sounds
But then you
cute.
said benchu.
Benchy.
So it was,
Oh,
yeah,
did I say
yeah.
benchy?
So I should mention it. This one ends I, like lunch. Ranchi. I'm not sure if I mentioned lunch actually. Did I? Do you remember?
I don't remember, no.
Benchi. So,
Benchy.
and to sit was suwaru. So, I'll sit on the bench.
Benchi ni suwaru.
Good. Benchi ni suwaru. And more formally, how would we make suwaru formal?
So suwaru ends ARU. Taberu. It's a taberu type verb.
Is it?
ARU. No, because IRU and ERU.
So our group
Oh,
is
it's just an RU.
So our group is actually taberu miru. No,
Taberu miru.
it's ERU or IRU. If that's not the ending is actually just you, like normal.
It's just you on its own. Ignore the
The R might confuse us, right?
did this time.
Right, but if it's aru, oh, that's just a normal verb. So suwaru in the mass form is
like a nemu verb. So
like a normal verb.
nomu verb. I'm sorry. Suwaru. So suwarimasu.
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 Good.
Suwarimasu.
So formally, I'll sit on the bench.
Benchi ni suwarimasu.
Good. Benchi ni suwarimasu. Good. So again, suwaru ends just you. No, it's not ERU or IRU. So it's a normal verb. It just ends you. Suwaru, suwarimasu. So sitting on a bench goes with ni because we actually sit towards it. But if we eat on a bench, it's not the same situation, is it? So I'll eat on the bench.
Benchi de tabemasu.
Good. Benchi de tabemasu. Benchi de taberu. Very good. So in Japanese, we'll want to notice when a verb is realized towards something or someone, in which case we could have ni marking what is moved towards. Like always, we're not looking for translations of particles because as we've seen, particles can have various translations and those translations can overlap. Sitting on a bench is ni, benchi ni, but eating on a bench is de, benchi de. In one case, on is ni, and in the other, on is de. Translating on is futile.
Yeah.
None of this is confusing though if we are focused more on what particles' jobs are rather than how they translate into English. God, these lessons are so long. Now we're just starting number 18.
There's so much to learn though. The way you're going over it's really, really good.
Thank
really
you. All right, number 18. To send is okuru. What's the formal verb of okuru?
Okurimasu.
Okurimasu. Good. Okuru ends you rather than eru like taberu or iru like miru to see. And so it in fact simply ends you. It's a normal verb. Okuru, okurimasu. Will you send it tomorrow?
Ashita okurimasu ka?
Good. Ashita okurimasu ka? What if we want to be emphatic and say something like, I will send it tomorrow?
Ashita okurimasu yo.
Ashita okurimasu yo. Very good. Or we could highlight how our sending is important or relevant or matters to the other person somehow. How might we show that appreciation?
It matters not to the person I'm sending it to, but the person I'm with.
Yeah, the person you're talking to. So you're going to say, I will send it tomorrow, but in a way that recognizes that you know that your sending of it is important to that person. What are we doing there essentially?
I'm sharing an experience.
Shoe sharing, very good.
I'm shoe sharing. Ashita okurimasu ne.
Good. Ashita okurimasu ne. No. So ne works for this kind of mutual understanding. You'll send it tomorrow, right? Won't you? What are we doing there? You'll send it tomorrow, won't you?
That's more of a question, as in I'm
Good.
asking you.
Confirmation. Good.
Ashita okurimasu ka?
It's not a straight question, is it? Which is, will you send it tomorrow? It's a confirmation question. We're stating something we believe to be true, and then we're confirming it.
Ashita okurimasu yo ne.
Very good. Ashita okurimasu yo ne.
Right.
No. So we state something we believe to be true. Ashita okurimasu yo. And then we ask for the, are we on the same page about that? Ne.
Okay.
So in shorthand, yone for confirmation questions. We can also get a mono noun, like tabemono food, nomimono beverage, from this verb okurimasu, to send. So first, how does that sound?
So it will be okurimono.
Okurimono. And this is the traditional Japanese word for gift or present, as opposed to the imported words gifto and presento. Okurimono literally means the sent thing, the sent thing, which tells us that the Japanese traditionally sent gifts and would not have been present for their reception. We can imagine this would have formed part of many different social rituals in relation to networking, maintaining social standing and relationships, and courting new relationships. This is quite a different phenomenon to the Western gifting, and whilst much of those historic Japanese practices may not exist today, the word okurimono survives and is reserved for more formal or ceremonial gifting. Generally though, presento is the most common word used in modern Japan. He will send her a present, formally speaking. He will send her a present.
he will send her a present. So, 彼女にプレゼントをto send is
If you remember the noun, you can find the verb again. What was the noun we just saw for our traditional presents?
oh my god, you just said it like 5 times. And,
Oku.
okurimono.
Good. So the formal.
Okurimasu.
Very good.
Okurimasu.
彼女に, or we could say 彼は as well if we wanted to, if we needed to. 彼は彼女にプレゼントを贈ります or プレゼントを贈ります or possibly 贈り物 in some kind of ceremony or traditional context like a wedding, for example. And we have ni here, of course. Now the sending is realized towards 彼女に. And informally now, the same sentence, he will send her a present informally.
彼は if I'm just adding words for fun. 彼は彼女にプレゼントを贈る.
Very good. 彼女にプレゼントを贈る. A convenience store in Japanese is konbini.
Konbini.
Konbini. And it's a shortened version, of course, of convenience. But interestingly, again, Japanese has identified and removed the noun ending ence. No, that's a noun ending, convenience. And then, of course, the V became a B, like in television, terebi. So there's a similar pattern there, no? Television, terebi, convenience, konbini. Are you going to the convenience store? To go was iku, but give me it formally. Are you going to the convenience store?
Konbini ni ikimasu ka?
Konbini ni ikimasu ka? Good. If we want to give the meaning of let's go, this isn't something we achieve in Japanese with a new word, or even a new particle for that matter, but rather with a change to the verb. In the case of formal verbs, mass becomes masho, long vowel, masho.
Masho.
So, if to go is ikimasu, formally, let's go is?
Ikimasho.
Ikimasho. Good. Let's go to the convenience store.
Konbini ni ikimasho.
Good. Konbini ni ikimashou. Well done. Let's meet at the supermarket, which is super. 2 long vowels. Super. What was to meet?
Ao.
Good. And formally?
Aimasu.
Aimasu. Good, because here we're working with mass verbs, no? So, let's meet at the supermarket.
Super ni aimasho.
Good, but the meeting is happening at the supermarket.
Super de aimasho.
Good. Super de aimashou. As you said, ni, interestingly, when you meet with someone, we've seen that we can say to, like kare to, with him, but you can also say ni in Japanese in that situation because Japanese imagines that you are meeting towards each other. So there is some flexibility there.
Like I said, kare ni.
Yeah, but not at the place.
Okay.
So mas becomes masho to get this idea of let's. But not only that, we can also get the meaning of shall we simply by making it a question. If you think about it, shall we is just let's, but like a question, no? Say let's go. Let's go? Shall we go? No? So shall we go? Shall we go? Still formally, of course. We're working with mass verbs, so this is formal.
Yeah.
Shall we go?
Ikimashou ka?
Shall we go to the supermarket?
Super ni ikimashou ka?
Good. Super ni ikimashou ka? Good. So that's shall we. So in English, we use very different words here, let's and shall we. But Japanese makes us notice that let's and shall we actually have the same meaning, just one is a question and the other isn't.
Yeah.
Shall we meet at the gym? Japanese is going to make us more conscious of things that are Western.
Yeah.
Shall we meet at the gym?
These ones are so fun. I'm guessing it's gymnasium? Or is it
Just gym.
Just gym.
Jimu.
Jimu de aimashou ka?
Very good. Jimu de aimashou ka?
Yeah.
Good. Let's meet here tomorrow. So it's let's now. Tomorrow was?
Ashita.
Good. So let's meet here tomorrow.
Ashita. Koko de aimashou ka?
So now it's let's rather than shall we.
Aimashou.
Very good.
Yeah.
明日ここで会いましょう.
Yeah.
Ashita koko de aimashou. So koko is here, no, and we know that koko forms part of a wider pattern which allows us to find new words. So the word for there is
Koko, soko,
soko, and where is
doko.
doko. Good. Kochi, kochi. So this is a double consonant, which is actually kind of pronounced a bit like a Cockney T, like water.
Yeah.
No, kochi, kochi. So there's like a little pause there. Kochi means this way.
Kochi.
Good. As it starts with a K and it relates to space, this way, no, we can suspect that it belongs to the same pattern as koko, soko, doko, kono, sono, dono. So if kochi is this way, how might we say that way?
Kochi. Sochi.
Very good. Sochi.
Is it this way as in physically,
Yeah.
location-wise? All right.
Well, we'll see this in the sentences now.
Right.
Is it that way?
Sochi desu ka?
Good. Formally, sochi desu ka, or just sochi. Let's go that way. So that way might also mean the way you described, the way you said. No, our S form can also take on this feeling of the, as we saw with sono. So let's go that way, or the way you said.
Sochi ni ikimashou.
Good. Sochi ni ikimashou. Let's go that way. And shall we go that way?
Sochi ni ikimashou ka?
Sochi ni ikimashou ka? What is which way?
Dochi.
Dochi. Which way shall we go?
Dochi ni ikimashou ka?
Very good. Dochi ni ikimashou ka? Which way is the office? Still formally.
Ofisu wa dochi ni ofisu wa dochi desu ka?
Very good.
Yeah.
Formally, ofisu wa dochi desu ka? Or informally, you could just say ofisu dochi.
Ofisu dochi.
No, informally.
Ofisu dochi.
How would you say, I guess it's this way, huh? And the context there is a trail of paper clips leading somewhere. So you see the trail of paper clips, the other person says sees the trail of paper clips, and we go, guess it's this way, huh?
Right, okay, so kochi is this way. I'm thinking, because it is a shared experience. We're in the same shoes because we're both seeing this trail of paper clips. So I guess it's this way. I'm not eliciting a response. Kochi desu ne?
Kochi desu ne?
Yeah.
But here, you could also have yone, but not in the sense of a confirmation, but putting emphasis, a separate emphasis to your ne. So if you were to say kochi desu ne, then that would sound a bit more like, I guess it's that way, huh? In a comical kind of sense, which would be likely if you saw a trail of paper clips on the floor. No? So your ne is not just for confirmation questions. It could also be ne with a little bit of emphasis of yo.
Okay.
No? It can be both. So if you're just referring to the trail of paper clips as a reference, kochi desu ne. But if you want to be funny about it, kochi desu ne.
Okay.
No?
Yeah.
And I can't help but feel like a trail of paper clips leading to an office when you're looking for an office
I wouldn't follow it.
is very funny.
I'm like, this is a trap.
Yeah.
I ain't going that way.
All right, number 19. You will often hear sumimasen in Japanese, which means sorry or excuse me. So you might use this if you bump into someone or to get someone's attention. Sumimasen.
Sumimasen.
Good, so that's pardon me, excuse me, sorry. But again, translations can be tricky because you might also use sumimasen when you're receiving hospitality or a gift, which would be more like thank you in English. But thank you in Japanese is a different word. Literally, what we're saying with sumimasen is something like it is not settled, meaning that the speaker is indebted for the bother caused. So generally speaking, sumimasen is used like sorry, pardon, or excuse me. We're using a very formal or even literary verb, sumimasu, which isn't used very much in common speech, but in the negative, sumimasen, it's extremely common. So we might say, excuse me, Which way is the conference? You're going to have to think in an American accent for this one.
All right.
Excuse me, which way is the conference?
すみません。どっちは、どっちは。
What is the subject? What are you talking about when you say which?
コンフレンス。
Good. And
Wow.
and I said you're going to have to think of an American accent. So first,
コンフレンス。
right, literally thinking English how Americans say conference. Conference.
カンファレンス。
Right, so Japanese did that as two A's. Conference.
カンファレンス。
Like clearly an American accent, right? Conference.
カンファレンス。
I hope I don't offend any. Most of my users are in the US. All right, so excuse me, the conference. Which way is it?
すみません。カンファレンスはどっちですか？
Good. Sumimasen, conference wa dochi desu ka? We can also combine sumimasen with ne. Sumimasen ne to get all kinds of nuances. For example, when receiving a gift, ne might put us in the other person's shoes and recognize their expenditure or effort, making it sound a bit more like you shouldn't have. Now, when we say you shouldn't have in English, it's like we're putting ourselves in another person's shoes and lamenting their expenditure or effort. Sumimasen ne. Sumimasen ne, especially with a longer vowel, ne, you can make a bit longer for insolence if you need to. Not just for that, but there's a flexibility with ne and ne, so listen out for that. Sumimasen ne might even sound ironic, like the ne alluding to how we know the other expects an apology, which is then the reason we're giving the apology, only because it's expected, right? Like, here's your sorry. Sumimasen ne. Like, here's your sorry, you know?
Right, okay.
However we use it, sumimasen shows us the negative of mas verbs, our polite verbs. In the negative, mas becomes masen. So we might say, I'm sorry, I don't understand. The plain form of understand was wakaru. So find the formal mas form to give me the formal, I'm sorry, I don't understand.
すみません。わかりません。
Good. Sumimasen, wakarimasen. Good. So for the negative verb, we see that Japanese, just like a great many other languages, uses the n to negate, as we do in English with the word not. Mas gets an n in the negative. Mas, masen. So if we want to say we don't drink, nomimas becomes
飲みません。
nomimasen. Good. We don't drink could imply alcohol, but if you want to be clearer, you can say sake, which is of course Japanese rice wine, but can be used to refer to alcohol generally. So we don't drink alcohol.
酒を飲みません。
Good. Sake or nomimasen, or just sake nomimasen. She won't eat here, like she won't be eating here with us. How would that be? She won't be eating here with us, she won't eat here.
ここで食べません。
Good. Koko de tabemasen. And to meet formally was?
会います。
Good. And to not meet, formally of course, we're working with mass verbs.
会いません。
Aimasen. We won't meet tomorrow.
明日会いません。
Ashtaimasen. Very good. So we've seen a couple of changes to the mass ending now, no? We have masen for the negative, and for let's, also used in shall we have
So it's show.
masho.
ましょう。
Which hotel shall we meet at?
どのホテルで会いましょうか？
Very good. Which hotel shall we meet at? Dono hoteru de aimashou ka? Very good. If we use masenka, the negative with ka, we get something similar to shall we, but more like why don't we? So we might say, why don't we meet at the hotel?
ホテルで会いませんか？
Good. Hoteru de aimasenka. So hoteru is enough for the hotel, but if it's the hotel you mentioned and we really want to show that, then we can use sono. Sono hoteru de aimasenka. So aimasenka is similar to aimashoka, but it's more careful or formal.
Okay.
No, than shall we? Why don't we? Okay. So we saw the pattern K, S, and D. No, kono, sono, dono. This, that, which. Koko, soko, doko. Here, there, where. Kochi, sochi, dochi. for this way, that way, which way. But actually, there's one more letter in this pattern, which is an A, which gives us the equivalent of that over there. So kono means this, as in near me or near us. Sono is that, as in nearer to you or not so far from either of us. And also used like the, no, to specify something already mentioned. But then if with that, we actually mean that over there, we have a new word, ano. So the complete panorama of this pattern is actually KSAD. Kono, sono, ano, dono. So that hotel far away is?
Ano hoteru.
Ano hoteru. Good. And that bar over there might be a Western style bar, no, rather than a Japanese drinking tavern.
Ano baru.
Actually here, when we have an R that is just making the vowel longer, so we're not focused on what's written, we're focused on what sounds. So remember where we saw car?
Car.
That was just car,
Yeah.
because that's what the R does there. So that, so the R in bar is just making the vowel long.
Okay. Ano bar.
Very good. Ano bar. And we know a pub isn't quite the same thing as a bar, no? So that pub over there might be?
Ano pabu.
Ano pabu.
Ano pabu.
Good. So sono is generally translated as that, and ano as that over there. Although, as we know, translations are not necessarily our best friend. For one, we don't often say that over there in English, no? So in Japanese, the that space, represented by sono, is usually close by. And sono only refers to something truly far away when it's used like the something, and that something just happens to be far away. So for that, referring to things physically far away, we'll in fact mostly use ano, even if we wouldn't be saying that over there in English.
Okay.
So, do you go to that mall, that one I'm pointing at, so it's physically far away, how might that be? Of course, I'm leaving you to guess mall. Do you go to that mall?
Ano moru or ikimasu ka? Sorry, not ikimasu ka, but it's
Ikimasu ka is fine for formal. Now, this is a normal question. Do you go to that mall? But moru o?
moru. So it's not o.
When we go
Ni.
towards.
Yeah. So ano moru ni ikimasu ka?
Good. Ano moru ni ikimasu ka? O is for the object, no? Like eating something, drinking something. Ano moru ni ikimasu ka? Formally speaking, do you go to that mall? Good. So we're pointing at it, it's far away, so it's ano moru, even though we might not say that mall over there in English. If though, with that mall, we mean the mall you mentioned, and then it doesn't matter how far it is. No, it could be halfway across the world. We use sono to mean the one already referred to. So do you go to that mall, the one she mentioned or the one you mentioned?
Sono moru ni ikimasu ka?
Very good. Sono moru ni ikimasu ka? Good. Why don't we go to that mall? Still formal. Why don't we go to that mall?
The mall we're talking about, sono moru ni ikimasen ka?
Very good. No, for why don't we, for this kind of gentle suggestion, masen ka? Sono moru ni ikimasen ka? Good. So our spatial pattern we can think of as the KSAD pattern. No? K giving us close by things, S for closer to you or not far from both of us, or just the, and then A for genuinely far. And then of course for the question word we have D. KSAD, kono, sono, ano, dono. We also had an alternative set of words for this, that, etc. No, when we don't name the nouns. So instead of kono, if we just want to say this or this one without naming the noun, we had
Kore.
kore. Good, it's similar to hi, kare, kore. And instead of sono, we have then
Sore.
sore. And instead of ano, we'll have
Are.
are. Good.
Are.
The questioning negative, masenka, we can also use like a polite, gentle invitation as well. Like, won't you eat this? Won't you eat this? So how might that be?
Tabemasen ka?
Good. And if you want to include the word for this?
Oh, kore o tabemasen ka?
Kore o tabemasen ka? No. Like, why don't you have some of this? Won't you eat some of this? No. So they're like an invitation. Why don't you eat something here? Like with us. Now again we're inviting. Why don't you eat something here?
ここでこれを食べませんか?
Something rather than this.
Oh, ここで何かを食べませんか?
ここで何か食べませんか? Good. And of course the same sentence in a different context could also mean, why don't we eat something here? No. So the negative question built with masenka is mostly a polite way to invite someone else or make a mutual suggestion for we, which may seem odd, but if you think about it, making a question negative is in itself an odd thing. It's stylistic. It's not like we need to go around making negative questions, no? When we say, isn't it there, instead of, is it there, the question is essentially the same. No, it's the nuance that changes with this stylistic negation in a question. And we can't expect Japanese to manage all of those nuances in the same way as English. So one nuance of a negative question in both languages is to gently suggest or to invite. No, as we've seen. Won't you have dinner with us? Why don't you eat here? In Japanese, we achieve this with masenka for formal verbs. Other times though, a negative question is just seeking confirmation of something we believe to be true rather than asking outright. Like, you don't drink, do you? That's a whole different nuance to suggesting and inviting, but one we already know how to do in Japanese. So, you don't drink, do you? You don't drink, right?
飲みませんか?
So, nomimasenka would sound like, won't you have a drink? Or, why don't you have a drink? That style of negative question would be achieving that. The negative question that says, you don't drink, right? We already know how to do that. What is that?
飲みませんよね?
Nomimasen yo ne? Good. So, nomimasenka would sound like, won't you have a drink? Or, why don't we have a drink? Rather than, you don't drink, no? Nomimasen yo ne? Or we might say to someone that we think is very thin, do you not eat? Don't you eat or what? You don't eat, do you? How would that be?
食べませんよね?
Tabemasen yo ne. Good. So returning to our spatial pattern, we have the word koko for here, close to me or close to us both. Soko for there, closer to you or not far from both of us. And then if we are referring to a place far from both of us, we have over there, that place over there, which is asoko. Asoko. You won't send it over there, will you? And we mean that far place over there. To send was okurimasu. So you won't send it over there, will you?
あそこに送りませんねよね?
Very good. Asoko ni okurimasen yo ne? Why don't we send it over there? Why don't we send it over there? What is the intention?
Why don't we send it over there? Why don't we send it over there? Right, we're suggesting. In which case, I know asoko ni okurimasen ka.
Good. Asoko ni okurimasen ka?
Yeah, why don't we do it? Obviously.
Good.
Yeah.
Why don't we send it over there? There, it's like a mutual suggestion, no? So asoko references a place physically far from us both, whether in English we actually say there or over there. If we mean a faraway place, we have asoko. That said, if we mean the place you mentioned, when we say there in English, we can use soko in Japanese, no matter how far it is. We know this S form can be used like the one, the place you mentioned. So you're not sending her there, are you? So first thing, before we think about the rest, what are we doing with are you? When we say, you're not sending her there, are you?
So we're going to use the negative.
No, don't tell me what we're going to use.
Okay.
Tell me what we're doing.
What we're doing. Oh, okay, so we're not going to send her there. I'm looking.
So one thought at a time is one of these brilliant think slowly to learn quickly things.
Yeah.
So what are we actually doing when we say, you're not sending her there, are you?
I'm trying to confirm with you.
Confirmation question.
Yeah.
Confirmation question. Right. What do we use for confirmation questions?
You're there.
You're not sending her there, are you? To that place you mentioned. You're not sending her there, are you?
Soko. Soko ni okurimasen yo ne?
Good. Or if we include the word for her, kanojo or soko ni kanojo okurimasen yo ne? No, so there it's just a confirmation question. You're not sending her there, are you? そこに彼女を送りませんよね. Good. And if we want to highlight that the place is far, we can still use asoko whether we've made reference to it already or not.
Okay.
No? So if that's what we want to highlight, we can still use asoko. So there's much flexibility with these spatial words. And apart from physical space, they also account for psychological distance, i.e. how close things feel from one another in any figurative context. So not to be taken too literally and then thinking that you don't understand how it works.
Yeah,
No, there's a physical space and also a psychological space when we describe relationships and stuff. That's quite intuitive. We do the same in English, so it's not something we really need to run through.
Okay.
It's just don't be too literal is the point. Okay. Don't feel like when it's not obeying these literal rules that there's something you've misunderstood. Okay. Probably referring to psychological space. And by the way, you may have noticed asoko is actually kind of irregular regarding our pattern. No, it should be ako if you think about it. Kono, sono, ano, kore, sore, are. But then we have koko, soko, asoko. We have both the A and the S in asoko. Kanojo, by the way, I previously mentioned, meant something like that woman, literally. And anyone very astute might have thought, wouldn't it be this woman? As we have kano in kanojo, which looks like kono. But actually, kano looks like ano, only that the K was lost in the historic evolution of Japanese. So if kanojo were formed today, it would be anojo.
Okay.
Good, number 20. Bravo, you're doing well.
Oh, cheers, man.
Now let it all go, let everything go, and don't try to memorize anything. Because if you feel like this is the thing I'm forgetting, I'm trying to memorize it, which I think in your case is ne, the plain ne.
Yeah, it's just that yone and ne. I'm like, overthinking it.
Or if you try to hold on to it, they're going to come out when they shouldn't. So let it go and just think, oh, I'm looking forward to another opportunity to think about this.
Okay.
Freshly. Yeah. No, rather than trying to hold on to anything. Because holding on to anything, then you have a battle in your mind when you're holding things in your short-term memory that they want to get out and be released. Which is not a good way of deciding, right? So we let it all go. We will let it all go. Thank you in Japanese is arigato. Long vowel on the end. Arigato.
Arigato.
Good. Or more formally, arigato gozaimasu or arigato gozaimashita. These literally mean something like the rare or unlikely thing is or was, i.e. this is out of the ordinary, thank you. Wow. For things underway, we use gozaimasu. So maybe when you leave your car at the garage, it's an ongoing thing, arigato gozaimasu. For things that just happened, like in a commercial context when you just finish a transaction, you'll hear gozaimashita, arigato gozaimashita. In gozaimashita, we actually have the past tense of mass verbs. Gozaimasu is the mass verb, and in the past, that's gozaimashita. So what is it we do to get the past tense of mass verbs then?
So we're taking the mass and we're taking it and we're changing it into mashita.
Very good. Mas to mashita, which is written mashita, by the way. But the I there is swallowed up in speech. U's and I's are the two vowels that can get swallowed up in Japanese and help break the consonant vowel structure. So written mashita on paper, but mashita in speech. So for the past tense of mass verbs, mas becomes mashita. So if ikimasu is to go, did go or went, the past version is
ikimashita.
Ikimashita. Who did you go with? With who you went?
Dare to ikimashita ka.
Dare to ikimashita ka? So formal verbs in the past end mashita. We've actually already seen the informal past of ikimasu though, or rather iku, no? Do you remember what went or said was in the informal? It was the same form for both these verbs.
Oh yeah, you already taught me this, didn't you?
In the past.
Itta.
Itta. Good. Itta. So we see quite a stark difference between the formal ikimashita and informal itta, although they both do end with an A, which is typical of the past tense. Shimasu is the verb for to do, shimasu.
Shimasu.
The negative is?
Shimasen.
Shimasen. And the past, I did, you did, they did, the past?
Shimashita.
Shimashita. Did you do it?
Shimashita ka?
Shimashita ka? Good. Ka is optional in the past too, so we could drop it for less form and rely on our intonation, but the emphasis will be on the final A now. No, in the same way it was on the final U that is otherwise invisible. No?
Okay.
So give that a try.
しました。
Good, perfect. No, shimashita? Did you do it? Did you do something? Did you do anything?
何かしました。
Good. 何かしました? 何かしましたか? Kino, long or kino, is yesterday.
昨日、
What did you do yesterday?
昨日何をしましたか。
Good. Kino, 何をしましたか? Good. Or we could also have kino wa, but there that would be like as for yesterday as opposed to another day. No?
Right.
昨日は何をしましたか? Otherwise, the norm is just 昨日何をしましたか? So, shimas, to do, is a very useful verb. Apart from the fact to do can step in for other verbs in all languages generally. You know, I did it can mean anything from I got married to I circumvented the globe on a camel. Apart from that, in Japanese, shimas is extra useful because we can combine it with nouns to form many other verbs. For example, the noun for job or work is shigoto, shigoto.
仕事、
How would you ask then, what is your job? What's your work? Your work, what is it? Informally first.
仕事は何ですか。
Informally first.
Oh, sorry. 仕事は何。
Good. Or even just
仕事何。
shigoto nani, shigoto wa nani. Good. When nani comes with des, it gets shortened a little bit. We get nandes, nandes, because it's such a common thing to say what with des. It kind of, the I got swallowed up and it became one thing, nandes. So the same sentence formally, what is your job?
仕事、is this formally? 仕事は何ですか。
Shigoto wa nan desu ka? So shigoto is a noun, it means job or work. And to do job, to do work, shigoto shimasu means to work. There we get the verb to work, shigoto shimasu. So if you wanted to say something like, where do you work?
Where do you work? So could I start with 仕事しますはどこですか。
That, you're thinking more of in terms of what is your work, no? But now we actually just have a verb, shigoto shimasu.
仕事し
And we know the verbs tend to come at the end, don't they? So, where do you work?
どこで仕事しますか。
Very good. Doko de shigoto shimasu ka? Did you work yesterday?
昨日、仕事しましたか。
Very good. A lot of shu in there, right? Kino, shigoto shimashita ka?
仕事しましたか。
Good. And if we wanted to emphasize kino for whatever reason, it could be anything from did you work yesterday at least or
Kino wa.
yeah, good. Kino wa shigoto shimashita ka? Good. So that's an outright question, no, with ka. But we may want to say something more like you worked yesterday, no? You worked yesterday, didn't you? How would that be?
昨日仕事しましたよね。
Very good. Kino shigoto shimashita yo ne? Kino shigoto shimashita yo ne? The word for telephone in Japanese is denwa, denwa. And we can use denwa to build to call, to phone, literally to do telephone.
電話します。
Denwa shimasu. Who called? And of course we're speaking formally now because we're working with mass forms. So who called?
誰は電話しましたか。誰は
There's a good reason you have it.
Shimashita ka?
There's a good reason you're doubting that. And that's because when we have a question word, wa isn't quite enough. Because the question word is very prominent. So how do we like raise
Oh, yeah,
the
that's
prominence of wa a level? How do we do that? Wa becomes?
誰が
Good.
電話しましたか。
Good. 誰が電話しましたか? Who called? Very good. So we use ga there as the question word is very prominent. Wa is not enough to mark it.
Right.
誰が電話しましたか? Did you call her? And when we phone someone in Japanese, we actually phone towards them in the collective imagination. So, did you call her?
彼女に denwa shimashita ka?
Very good. 彼女に電話しましたか? Good. You called her, didn't you? So what are we doing here when we say you called her, didn't you? If there's no other weird context I'm giving you, what are we doing?
We're confirming.
Good. Confirmation question. Which you use what for?
Yone.
Bravo.
Yeah.
You called her, didn't you?
彼女に電話しましたよね.
Good.
I was going to say ka yo ne, but that's too many little words.
Too
at
much.
the end. Yeah. Yo ne.
Good.
Yeah.
You called her, didn't you? 彼女に電話しましたよね.
Yeah.
Good. When is itsu in Japanese? So like nani, what? This is a question word that doesn't begin with a D, no? So itsu for when. When did they call you?
いつが電話しましたか?
So in the same way that we don't generally say 明日は昨日は, no, we don't need any particle with itsu.
Right.
So when did they call you?
いつ電話しましたか?
Good. いつ電話しましたか?
いつ電話しましたか?
If we feel like we want to say you because it's not clear who we mean, the most common thing in Japanese is actually to use someone's name. So if your friend's name is Miho, for example, you'll say, when did they call Miho? Even when you're talking to Miho. Of course, that would sound weird or confusing in English, like we're talking about someone else, no? But in Japanese, it's standard. So when did they call you Miho? When did they call you?
みほはいつ電話しましたか?
Good. Now think again, but think first, what comes first? The question word tends to come first, no?
いつ
Good. And then we're calling towards you.
So there's no particle.
Yeah,
Itsu.
we have a particle for towards.
いつに No.
So we're getting a little bit of idea salad, no? So identify the different elements of the idea of when did they call you. And for you, we're just going to say Miho. When did they call Miho? Think about what idea comes first, and then forget it, and then what idea comes next.
いつはみほいつは
Just itsu is fine.
いつみほに電話しましたか?
Very good. Right? Itsu Miho ni denwa shimashita ka? We saw that kaimas was to buy, to purchase, and we could also find a mononoun from this verb, which was
買い物
kaimono, which is a or the purchase. To do purchases, kaimono shimasu, means to shop, like to go shopping, like an activity. Kaimono shimasu. So why don't we go shopping with her at the mall? Why don't we here? What is it? Why don't we go shopping with her at the mall?
Oh, it's a confirmation.
Is it?
No.
The thing to bear in mind,
suggestion.
it's a suggestion.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And it's one of these why don't we suggestion, which is?
ませんか?
Good. All right.
Kaimasenka.
Very good. So, why don't we go shopping with her at the mall?
Okay. モールで彼女と買いませんか?
That would be why don't we buy? No, but if you want to say why don't we go shopping for like kind of going shopping as an activity.
So we're making it into shimas, which is kaimono shimas. So kaimono shimasenka.
Very good.
Kaimono shimasenka.
Very good. And your word order was acceptable. I'd say the most neutral one would be to have kanojo to first. Kanojo to moru de kaimono shimasen ka?
Okay.
Why don't we go shopping with her at the mall? Kanojo to moru de kaimono shimasen ka?
Okay.
Good. So this has the connotation of shopping like an activity, no? Kaimono shimasu, rather than to buy, which is kaimasu. And how is the past of buy? I bought, we bought, she bought, etc.
Kaimashita.
Kaimashita, of course. Good. So we've seen a few additional verbs that we can build using shimasu, no? To do. We have shigoto shimasu, to work, denwa shimasu, to call, kaimono shimasu, to shop or go shopping. To clean is soji shimasu. Soji shimasu.
Soji shimasu.
Literally, to do sweeping, but used like to clean generally. Let's clean.
Sojimashou.
It's a bit slower.
Is it shoji?
Soji.
Soji shimashou.
Soji shimasu. Soji shimasu. Oh. Soji shimasho.
Soji shimashou.
Very good. Soji shimasho. House is ie, i.e. ie.
Ie.
So you could say, let's clean the house.
Ie wa soji shimasen ka?
I need to take more time.
Okay.
We're nearly done as well, huh? But either way, if you take more time, it will be faster.
Well, yes, you're right.
So, let's clean the house. The first bit of information that we're going to represent is?
The house.
Good.
Which is ie
Good.
wa.
Why what? Also, when we're looking at expendable particles, if you have a confusion, you can leave it out.
Oh.
Right, good.
Ie.
It's the object, it's
It
the thing
sounds
you're
so weird,
it's the
yeah.
thing you're cleaning in the same way
course,
as
yeah.
it'd be the thing you're eating. No?
Yeah.
So let's clean the house.
Ie o soji shimasen ka?
Good, and these are nuances, right? So
Yeah.
shimasenka would be more like why don't we clean the house? But if you want to get
Oh.
closer to the meaning of let's,
Shimashou.
so let's clean the house. Ie or soji shimashou.
Soji shimashou.
Shall we clean the house tomorrow?
Tomorrow is ashita. Ie o soji shimasen ka?
What shall we? It's like let's, but a question, no?
Soji shimashou ka?
Good. Ashita ie o soji shimashou ka? Now, the one that you've been wanting to say because you're holding on to it, and that's why we need to let it go, is why don't we clean the house tomorrow?
Why don't we clean the house tomorrow? Ashita ie o soji shimashou yo ne.
I knew that was going to happen. Do you know why I knew that was going to happen? Because I always tell people,
Yeah.
when you're holding on to something, it's going to keep coming out until you need it. And then you're going to say something else. Don't ask me why, but just years of doing this is what always happens. So it's part of the proof I use to you really need to let go of stuff. Because you've wanted to say shimasen ka for all of these sentences, and then when you're called on for it,
Didn't say it.
right, and that's so common.
That's crazy.
I know, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about letting go.
Yeah.
Now, you know, this is an experience for me. This is a tester class. So maybe I decide that weaving these three things together was not the best idea and I want to separate them more, right? So this could be a me problem too, right?
Well, it's us. We're in this together. It's for me. There's so many. The words are so small, and the differences they feel weighty because I'm incurring a different tone with these tiny words, and I guess it just hasn't
But there,
settled yet.
and it's not memory either. There's structural reasons for it, right? So that's what I want you to take the time to think about. So the structural reasons are, for example, the similarity between let's and shall we, masho, mashoka. No, so it's not like we need to memorize that mashoka is shall we and masenka is why don't we. We understand that structurally because we understand that shall we is the question form of let's, and we know let's is masho.
Yeah.
So it's just about giving ourselves the time to differentiate that, no, which is what I call, like when I write about the method, artificial friction, because if I make this too easy, no one will think about anything.
It's funny, like,
right? So why don't we clean the house tomorrow? Masenkai is why don't we? So give me that.
Yeah. So tomorrow, ashita ie o soji shimasen ka?
Very good. Why don't we clean the house tomorrow? Ashita ie o soji shimasen ka? And you could actually leave out ie. It's just a nice opportunity to teach you the word. But if you just say clean, people are going to probably assume the house. In the same way as English, right? Why don't we clean tomorrow?
Yeah.
No one's going to say clean what? You would understand the house.
Yeah.
So including the house or not, it's up to you. Did you clean the house yesterday?
家を
No, just the house. Did you clean the house yesterday? So, you said instead of
Oh,
kino.
sorry, I was thinking kino.
Yeah. I just realized you were thinking kino.
昨日、家を掃除しましたか
Very good.
Yeah.
昨日、家を we could leave that out. 昨日、掃除しましたか? Did you clean the house yesterday? Very good. So that's of course an outright question, no? Did you clean the house yesterday? But we might just be looking for confirmation of something we already believe to be true. No? You cleaned the house yesterday, right? In which case we can state it with yo and imply something like we're on the same page about that with ne. No? We have yone for this kind of confirmation question. So if you want to say something like they cleaned the house yesterday, no? They cleaned the house yesterday, didn't they?
昨日掃除しましたよね
Very good. 昨日掃除しましたよね? So here we're looking for a confirmation. They cleaned the house yesterday, right? But if rather than looking to confirm, we are commenting on the shared experience of finding the house spotless, maybe we go in together and we look at everything spotless, then maybe in that case, what particle might we use?
So you've come in and it's spotless. So I guess you would...
And the reference that I'm making is to our shared experience of like, oh look, looks like they cleaned the house, huh?
掃除しましたね
Good.
Yeah.
昨日掃除しましたね. They cleaned yesterday, huh? Looking around. And we're aware that we're both looking around, seeing it spotless.
Yeah.
And that's the reference that's been made there. Very good.
Did I do it?
Yes, you did.
Did I get through it?
That was a workout and a half, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry, man. That was
No,
good.
what are you got to be sorry about?
good.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was
it's
brilliant.
amazing how